This week, we're going to be talking about time. And if you're a small business owner, entrepreneur, what's the most precious asset you have? It's time, and you never have enough of it. So we're going to be talking about how you can get more, coming right up. So I'm in a beautiful part of Sydney today. What's it called?
Glenmore Park.
Glenmore Park. The GPS got me here. But if you could see in the distance, we've got the beautiful blue mountains behind us. I am very jealous. There's a pool there. Can we get this video done quick so we can get in the pool? But I'm here today with Anthony English.
Hello,
who's
Rob.
an old friend and a business coach. And so not only are you running your own business, but you're dealing with loads and loads of small business owners and entrepreneurs all over the world. I mean, you have clients here in Australia and the US.
Yeah, primarily in Canada. Yeah.
In Canada?
Yeah,
Oh.
US, Canada, and Australia. So,
Oh, that's great.
so actually in that order. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So would you agree that one of the biggest problems that we all have is lack of time?
for sure, we're all pressed for time. Everybody's busy, and so.
So what are some of the ways you've got around that?
Oh well, it's very obvious, Rob. You just have to sleep less. You just have to stay up later. Okay, spend less time with your family.
Yeah.
And just sleep less. Problem solved.
Yeah, that's how I sold it for the first 10 years of my business, my own business life. It wasn't good. Health, relationships, doesn't work. So, I mean, how common is that problem? I mean, amongst your clients and the people you deal with?
Yeah, it's really huge because and sometimes people are going to mention it in terms of like missing their daughter's ballet concert, you know, or things that are, you know, or maybe mum is, you know, has maybe their mum has got dementia and they've got to look after. Like there are things that are just, you just
It's
think,
life.
yeah, it is life.
Yeah.
And so especially, I mean, you know, we're all trying to feed our families, and you just think, why do I always feel busy? I always feel busy.
You know, I think it's guilt. And I don't know whether you feel this, but I think as a business owner, and particularly if you have other people in the business, that you have that much greater sense of responsibility that you've got to do everything you can to make the business successful. So it might be for your family, it could be, you know, for other families in the business. And you know the thing that I struggle with for years, if I've got some spare time, I could spend it on marketing, or I could write an article, I could improve the website.
Yeah.
And what happens is you end up working evenings and weekends, and it's a downward spiral. It's shocking.
The thing is that, I mean, from the entrepreneurs and the business owners that I work with, whether they consider themselves entrepreneurs, they are givers, and they're giving all day, and that's who they are.
Yeah.
So if you ask them to take, to have some me time, to ask for testimonials, to ask for money from their clients, they're feeling like they're not giving anymore. So we need to change that conversation to say, look, what we've got to do is give a little bit more, and let's see if we can buy back some time so that you can do some more giving, if you like, because that's who you are.
Yeah, because I think it's true. All the people I talk to who run successful businesses like ours, they really are givers.
Yeah.
And in fact, that gives me an interesting idea. So let me just run. We haven't talked about this, but let me just run this past you. What if you could get, let's be conservative, an extra 10 hours a week back? What would you do? So let's just imagine you had someone next to you who you could delegate some work to, and 10 hours of your work would be taken off your plate.
10 hours of my time?
Yeah.
Like 2 hours a day, Monday to Friday? You're kidding.
No. So, I mean, let's say you could just get rid of some of that work. What kind of work would it be?
Well, the first thing that I would get rid of is the busy work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work that I do that
busy but not productive.
It's not. It's it might be a bit fun. It may not be, but it's basically tinkering.
Oh, look, we're all like that.
All right, and so there are things that I do. Like I know that my strength is going to be when I'm actually talking to people.
Yep.
Okay.
And absolutely, for business owners, you've got to stop the tinkering
Yeah.
and the stuff that, you can do with your brain turned off, or maybe it's a little bit of fun, and do the stuff that where you add the value, and generally that's with clients.
It's actually, for me, exactly. I know that my most effective way of communicating is when I'm actually talking to people.
Yeah.
I tend not to do coffee meetings. You're an exception, Rob, because you're a special person. But
I don't do a lot of coffee meetings. I do not like doing coffee meetings in the city. It costs me $80 a time to park there.
For the parking. So here's where I'm going with this: is that we all know the whole thing, know, like, trust. Okay, people buy from those who they know, they like, and they trust. And when we think of trust, what we think of is, Rob, you don't actually rip me off, because that's breaking trust.
Yep.
But there's another way that we can break trust, and it's not stealing from people, but it's making a promise that you don't keep.
Yeah, because
for example,
busy. We don't follow up.
We're on a Zoom call. Okay, on a video call, we've lined it up. I've lined it up. I'm lining it up with the US, and I'm in Australia, and I've got to do the time zone thing, and then I miss the appointment, or they miss the appointment, or even during the call.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm going to introduce you to Rob O'Byrne.
Yeah.
And then I've made a commitment.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the call, what do? How many of those little promises? I'm going to send you this article. Absolutely. That I don't actually carry through. So those break trust.
So those are the little things you're talking about.
Those are little things that are easy enough for me to do. But when you say, look, it'll only take me 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes. But then if I'm procrastinating...
Do you know how I do those things? And I'm going to share a bit of a secret here. I get on Skype chat and I go, send Anthony that book. Send Anthony a link to that video.
What do you mean you do Skype chat with yourself?
I'll get to that.
I don't get it.
If I'm out and about, I'll pick up my phone and say, send this to so-and-so, or call Fred and see if he's free for a meeting next week.
Now I get it.
Now you get it.
Now I get it, because I wanted to line up an appointment with you.
You don't talk to me.
And I just realised, like, Rob O'Byrne, you've just got too many things in your head.
Yeah.
We've got to get something out of your head.
So I do look at my emails, but they get filtered before I get to them.
Right.
I don't manage my diary. I have a PA who does that.
A PA?
Yep.
Right.
There's probably half of the stuff I used to do I don't need to do anymore. So that's how I free up time. Yeah. And I don't work weekends anymore. So we were talking about giving. Yes. And I know you're a very giving person, and you work very long hours looking after your clients.
Yeah, I do.
I would like to gift you something, and it's not totally selfless, because I'm going to gift you something, and I want your feedback on it.
I'm very scared.
And I want your feedback on it. And you know what I'm going to gift you?
No, don't tell me. Is it a car?
It's not a car.
Not a car.
You've got a pool.
I've got a pool.
I'm going to gift you one of my virtual assistants for 3 months.
You're kidding.
No. So you will have a full-time assistant. We'll work out the admin, but they'll be on a Sydney phone number. They'll be on your email system. They'll be on the end of a Skype chat. You can chat to them whenever you like. They will be your resource. So my questions coming back is, how will you use that person to get some of your time back? Wow. And how will you use that person to help you service your clients or gain more clients?
You know, I hadn't even thought of the virtual assistant, because for 2 reasons. One is that I couldn't afford it, but I can afford a 3-month gift. Yeah. Thank you. And the other one is a really, really interesting thing. I'm a process-driven guy, but I'm still disorganized, even though I'm process-driven. So that's, I sort of think I'll be wasting their time, because I don't actually have a process in place. No. I've got it all in my head. Do you know what happens?
And take notes on this. Do you know what happens when you first get a virtual assistant? And when you say you couldn't afford one, just for people watching, you would be amazed at how inexpensive it is. But we won't go there today.
Sure.
When you say, oh, what would I use them for, and I don't have a process, guess who you get to write the process? So I haven't booked my travel for 10 years. So when I had a virtual assistant starting to book my travel, I had to think, okay, what's the process to go through? So I don't like writing stuff. I do audios, and I say, okay, this is how it works. This is the travel agent. If I tell you I need got a 10 o'clock meeting in Melbourne, please allow me 90 minutes to get from the airport, work back from there. Book me a flight, it takes me 1 hour to get to the airport, so here's the parameters.
Yeah.
Book me a flight.
This really appeals to my business coaching.
Really?
To the way that I coach.
Shall I tell you how good it gets? Listen to this. Listen to this. I was in Bangkok 3 months ago, and I said to this is, when you've got it working. I said to my PA, I'm going to be in Bangkok for a week. I'd love to spend a couple of those days catching up with old clients and potential clients. And if any of them are watching, you'll know how this worked. That's all I said.
You're kidding.
Tuesday and Wednesday. I had, on Tuesday and Wednesday, 4 meetings booked. 5 meetings booked on each day. And I'm looking at the meetings and I'm going, oh no. Because I live in Bangkok part of the year. So I live at, I won't say where, because people will be stalking me, but I live on the sort of eastern area. And there were some meetings over on Ceylon Road. And I said to my PA, oh, look, you do realise I've got to go down the Sukhumvit line, I've got to change at Siam, I've got to get onto the Siam line. It's going to take me at least 45 minutes. You haven't left enough time. And my PA turned around and said, oh, but you're forgetting about the new underground MRT system. You can get there in 10 minutes. It was like clockwork. So this is someone based in the Philippines, who had gone through my client list and thought, these are people worth catching up with, had worked out all the travel times, had, contacted the clients to make the appointments. I just rocked up.
Yeah, it's incredible because, I really need to think of, because where I was thinking of was how, was the what and the how. And now what this really does is it frees up some brain space for me. One of my clients, after I spoke about this for her, about not the virtual assistant thing, but around focusing on the outcome, like you just did with your Bangkok story, focusing on the outcome. She said now that's actually helped her to give better referrals. So like, how does that work?
Really?
She said, well, now that I'm focusing on the outcome and I've bought back time for myself, my head is prime real estate. My brain is prime real estate now. So if I think of 2 people, I'm thinking of Rob, I'm thinking of Olga. Yeah. These 2 have got to meet. Yeah. Olga's in New York. Yeah. If I have got them, if they're in my head, that's prime real estate. Yeah. Now I'm going to join them together. Yeah. It must be important.
That's interesting. You have connected me recently with some amazing people, I will say. I was on a call the other day with, I'll just say, Sarah, and we were both on this call. It's like, not quite sure why we're talking, but Anthony introduced us. And within 2 minutes, we were getting on like a house on fire because we had so much in common. And in fact, we're going to catch up because there's a lot we've got to talk about.
You're going to do a video with Sarah, I hope?
Absolutely.
Yeah, great.
Yes.
Yeah,
and watch out for it. It's going to be all about purpose in the business. Because we had a fantastic deep conversation. But I digress because you're going to get a VA for 3 months. And she is sitting in our Philippines office, ready and waiting. So in the next few days, I want you to start thinking about what are some of the things that I could just delegate?
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that, with a simple bit of instruction, someone else could do for me, which are going to add a lot of value. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be the business stuff. It might be, ordering the doctor's appointments or hairdresser appointments.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because it's not just business stuff. But these are all things that take up headspace.
And especially when you're working in a business.
I don't make my doctor's appointments.
Right. Well, especially when you're working in business, and especially if you're working from home, which I am. We've got 7 children.
You can hear some of them in there.
You can hear them?
Sounds like lunchtime. We better wrap up.
Yeah. You got too many things in your head. Yeah. And all it is really freeing up that space so that I can actually get to the athletics with the children. Yeah. I can actually, go and change the tyre with my, instead of getting my wife to have to go to the mechanic or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, there's just so many things.
So in the next week or so, I would like you to come up with a list of 10 things that you are now going to delegate to your dedicated virtual assistant and we'll, as soon as you've got those 10 things listed, we'll start.
Well, I'm going to report back to you, and maybe we can even do that over video.
Yeah. I'd love to, because you're a very honest guy, an open guy. I would love to get your feedback.
Okay.
Let's catch up a couple of times through that 3 months.
Sounds great.
I will give you a word of warning though, because at the end of the 3 months, it's going to be. This is going to be a little bit like taking the kids to the pet shop.
It's like a drug addiction.
Borrowing the puppy for 3 months. It's going to be very difficult to get the puppy back. No. I won't be able to cope. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Thank you so much, Rob.
No. But I mean, I was just literally kind of just thought of that as we're thinking about time. And you're always saying to me, how do I get so much done? I have 5 virtual assistants. That's how I get so much done. So they kind of do grow on you a bit. But so look, if you're watching this, and we started off by saying, what's the greatest asset that we have, as business owners, entrepreneurs, it's time. What's our most valuable asset? It's time. So, maybe this has given you some ideas on how you can get some of that time back. Maybe we'll do another video on sort of prioritizing time and things like that. But,
exactly.
But, they only make so much of it. You've only got so much of it, and family needs some of it. And,
absolutely.
So anyway, we'll report back and see how you're going with your virtual assistant. I have actually got to get to a client, and it sounds like the family are about to be fed, so we'd better go. Thank you for your hospitality, Anthony. It's been lovely to be out here in this part of Sydney. I'll come back. I'll bring a packed lunch next time, and we'll picnic by the pool.
We'll get you in the pool.
No, you don't want to see me in the pool. But no, I really appreciate your time. We've had some great chats. So. You know how it works on the channel. If you have any questions or anything, do please comment below, and we'll answer all your questions.
Yeah, the comments are good. Yeah.
If you aren't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe, because we have videos coming out every week, generally on a Wednesday. And so far, our editors, virtual assistant editors in the Philippines, are keeping up with the schedule. So, in fact, have a look around on the channel. While we're on the topic of virtual assistants, have a look around the channel, because I don't know if you've seen any of these. I said to some of the virtual assistants, hey, why have I got to make the videos every week? Why don't you have a go? And so they do. And I don't know what they're going to make each week. They have total sort of artistic license, but they've done quite a few, and they're really good. And it'll give you a good insight into, what virtual assistants are like as people.
Yeah, that's
great. They've done some really cool videos. We've got some amateur dramatics going on some of the videos, but they are really cool people. I better leave you in peace, Anthony.
Thank you.
Remember to subscribe. See you next Wednesday. Thanks for dropping in.